My name's Calvin Waite, and I trade Bitcoin and cryptocurrency for a living. So, Bitcoin, I said we'd probably find a little bit of trouble at 11,500 a couple of days ago. We are definitely outside of this declining resistance, though. So there's some really positive, there's some positive things going on in this chart. But the patterns in the chart, they just tend to repeat themselves, and this is not a big deal. You know, going down a little bit is not a big deal at all, because look at this. How many days in a row have we had green days? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row. So you get 6 solid days of green, and you need to have some kind of a rest. And so the distance here and the distance here, it would make sense for them to mirror each other. Question is where do we find our support? I believe we'll find it right at 11,000 or near here. So if we can keep above this for a couple more days and then maybe touch 11, we will really be ready to springboard up into the next section. But no other major changes. We're still waiting for our green zone to start. It should start soon because our 50 is really flattening out. It won't take much for us to turn that corner, and we'll be starting in on another green zone. And we're well above the 50, so even if we come down, we could even touch the 50 or do something like that, and we'll be in a great position. So Bitcoin's looking really nice right now. This is what it has felt like waiting for this next alt season to begin. Alts have been down for about a month, but we will get some traction, and just a matter of weeks, I can tell that we're starting to heat up a little bit here. So take a look at ZRX protocol. This coin has been out for about two and a half years, so this has definitely got some good history on it. And you can see that there are a couple of, so being on the weekly chart here, you can see that there are a couple of moves that have been very well defined. So we had this wick here, and it found resistance at the same point. So this line here will eventually be very important. I'm just going to mark some of these since this is the first time I've done a video on this particular coin. But you can see how we had this bottom, we had this kind of a struggle. Eventually it came back and became resistance, and that is exactly where the tip of our most recent high touched. So this chart is looking really interesting as far as following support and resistance rules. Our bottom here, if you can see this, our weekly bottoms here on this day became the bodies, became the top for our bodies right here. So we've got some really interesting moves in this chart. Well, most recently, we have created a very obvious level of support right here. And this is what I kind of wanted to talk about. So I'm gonna get one last point on here, and that is this bottom, which is our all-time low on the bodies of candles, and then these bodies here. So we have a really nice year-long established slow rise bottom here. So even though it did exactly what every other altcoin did during the 2018-2019 bear market, they all sold off. But ZRX did find a bottom here in September, and now we're starting to climb up and establish these better lines of support. So most recently, take a look at this. We have, I'll just zoom out really quick, you can kind of see where that September entrance was. This was phenomenal. When we exited this red zone here, we were just looking for a green zone. So we would have entered somewhere in here, probably 2,000 Satoshis, could have been 1750, somewhere in there. And then we were just waiting for the green zone to happen. That green zone came this year. And you could have exited for double right here. And there was also an opportunity right here. So if you're trading these bands, this would have been a trade. But what's interesting to me right now is that the entire market, all of the alt markets have sold off for about a month and a half to 2 months. And we've had these really long declines, but we are starting to see across multiple coins, we're starting to see this pattern where we hit a bottom, we hit a slightly lower bottom, but there was no fear here. Investors are all sold out, which means that everybody's gearing up for a move upward. And this right here is likely going to be a swing low. So we're going to probably have a slightly higher high, and this will boost us off. So I'll give you a couple of examples from other coins that we've kind of followed on this channel. One is Bitcoin Cash. It's having an awesome day. It just did this exact same thing. This nice low bottom, a nice higher support, and it comes at the end of this giant sell-off that we've had. And if you'll notice, we are about to exit the red zone. So Bitcoin Cash could be a beautiful, beautiful buy today. But here we've established this level of resistance, and then boom, we're getting these higher highs. Another one that you've heard me talk about, if I can find it, is Cardano. So Cardano did the same thing. We had this nice lower support, and look how good we're looking today. This is awesome. So I have a hunch that with this sort of pattern playing out, and these ones are a little bit further along in their progression, so you can kind of see the outcome. I am betting that we're probably going to see the same result with ZRX. It seems to be following the same pattern, and all these alts seem to be moving together. So this is looking really nice, and we have some targets, and we have some really good moves. But to kind of back it up a teeny bit, anytime ZRX in the past has shown a little bit more support, it's been powerful. So here in May, we finally had a bottom, and then we had this move where we finally established our next higher support. And would this have been a good place to buy? Anywhere in here after this signal would have been a decent exit here. And then same thing. We had a nice low bottom, and then the bodies showed a little bit of increasing support. Even if you missed it, and it was in here that you're like, okay, we're starting to move up. I can tell that we've got a momentum change happening. You could have exited anywhere in here and done well. So don't ignore this. If you're actively trading, or if you're interested in ZRX, I think we've got some good days ahead of us. Hey, thanks for hanging on till the end of the video. If you liked anything I said, please support the channel by subscribing. If not, feel free to leave a comment, and I'd be happy to take a look and make improvements to the channel so it'll be better next time.